We are live from the coach's room at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. As everyone remembers from yesterday, I was here on Saturday, Matt. Not as romantic this afternoon. There's the two of us, but we also have some great team members here as well. So we will be doing the show here from 2 to 4, followed up by Scalzo and Brust. So swing on out to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton during the Scalzo and Brust show and hang out, get yourself Coors Light because the mountains are blue. You know what to do.
And that's crush a Coors Light.
And look, I got this Barry Alvarez trophy right over my shoulder here, the Barry Dodd Coach of the Year Foundation Award. And it is in recognition of higher and more noble aspect of coaching and what a great coach he was, and a great trophy over here. There are photos of our good friend Tarek Saleh, Athletic Director Chris McIntosh up here as well, Ron Dane. So Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton is obviously, we've talked about it before, a great place for many different events. We're going to have Lee on a little bit later as well. But it's a fantastic bar. Got the horseshoe bar.
The first thing you think of when you think Ruth's Chris is obviously a good steak, but you don't realize that, this bar area is pretty great. They have a great outdoor seating area as well that we're looking out at here from the coach's room. So, you can't go wrong. Plus, Scalzo and Brust will be here. They're fun to listen to.
Absolutely. Not as fun as us. And if you hadn't been here in a while, this coach's room used to be kind of closed off, this where they have all the windows. That wasn't there. So Lee had the great vision of opening that up and taking it out to the patio here. But the coach's room has been here for a long time. And we'll talk some Badgers and we'll talk some Packers as well. Jim Rutledge, Matt Hamilton with you. We are remote in the Everlight Solar Studio at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. Get into the show, 844-770-3776. And we got Alex Strofe back at that Everlight Solar studio. Matt, Alex, how you doing back there?
Not as good as you guys. I mean, you guys are out and about, shaking hands, kissing babies, eating steaks.
In your honor?
Potatoes au gratin. Those things are the best potatoes I've ever had in the entire world from Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. So that's my request. Jimmy, are you drinking a coffee right now?
Of course I'm drinking a coffee right now.
I didn't even know they served coffee at the Horseshoe Bar.
They do. I came in and Lee knew it. He's like, hey, you want a coffee? I said, absolutely, I want a coffee. So it's been a good day. It's been a long day. I worked out of Carbon earlier. So, got to get the energy back up and carry through the show. So, Strofe, you love to pit Wilde and Tausch against me and Matt. I think that's like your secret favorite thing to do. Is that fair to say?
I mean, it's certainly up there because you guys are worlds apart, right? No Wilde this week, so we won't talk to him later at 2:45 like we typically do on Tuesdays. But I heard Tausche say something this morning, and I just thought, I know one of you is going to agree, and I know one of you is going to disagree. So here earlier today, which obviously here Wilde and Tausch 9 to noon here on ESPN Madison, is what Mark Tauscher had to say about the Packers offense this upcoming season.
What makes us think that we're going to be that much worse on offense than we were last year? Because Aaron Rodgers has been a great quarterback. He is a 4-time MVP. I don't have to go through all the accolades of what he's done. He wasn't that last year. And again, a lot of reasons for it. I think the broken thumb was a monster reason for why he wasn't as effective. But we act like this offense, which was not very good last year, statistically, that it's going to be markedly worse.
Okay. Matt, I'll let you go first.
I don't know. Okay. First of all, Tausch, I don't know what he's saying. We're losing we lost Aaron Rodgers. And don't get me wrong, I understand it was for the best for everybody. I think, honestly, everybody is happier.
Have you seen Aaron? That dude is
Aaron looks happy. I know the Packers are happy moving forward with Jordan Love. Everyone's happy. Let's just agree that everyone's in their best situation.
It's 4 nights of complete darkness.
That said, last year, even with the Packers, we're calling this a down year, a bad year, arguably, last year, right? He goes 36, almost 37. He's 5 yards short of 3,700 yards, 26 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. And a passer rating of 91.1. There's no way Jordan Love gets those numbers next year. And not only that, we lost weapons from last year. We lost wide receivers that Aaron Rodgers had, some more veteran guys than we have. And we're looking at this is Jordan Love someone who we know at this moment in time is not as good as Aaron Rodgers and has a team which, in all realness, is not as good as last year's, at least on paper, I don't know how Tausch can say with a straight face that people shouldn't be worried that the Packers aren't going to be as good as last year. There's some real reason for concern.
844-770-3776. Do you think the Packers offense will be better or worse than it was this season, this upcoming season? That's our first Iron Jock poll question. This upcoming season, do you think the Packers offense will be better or worse than last year? There is some, and this happens in every fan base here, and I'd love you to, again, share your thoughts on this as well. 844-770-3776. There's blatant disrespect for players when they leave. Like, Packer fans, ride or die, were trying to tell us how great Allen Lazard was. And now he's gone. Oh, who cares? Who's going to miss that bum? And, because, nobody's even acknowledging that Allen Lazard is gone. You got fan bloggers trying to say that Christian Watson is the fifth or sixth most important receiver to the Aaron Rodgers era in front of Allen Lazard. Could you be more disrespectful? And if it was pass catchers, there's another guy we're also forgetting in Bob Tunyon that he's just gone.
Right.
And 2 years ago, everyone's like, we got this steel Pro Bowl tight end, and now it's like, oh, whatever, we'll just replace him with rookies and Josiah DeGuara. Matt, I ask this question, I do this every once in a while, and I really want the listeners to play with it as well, because I think people underestimate what this guy did. Allen Lazard, how many catches do you think he had last year?
Probably like 60.
That was dead on. So good job.
Really?
Yeah, so 60 catches, 788 yards, and 6 touchdowns. That's
Great.
gone.
Yeah. And if Christian Watson has those numbers, I'd be pretty stoked.
Right, but then who's replacing Christian Watson's numbers from last year? And then Rob Dobbs, that's the thing. Romeo Dobbs, you just slotted out. You just removed 60 catches and 788 yards from your offense. I don't know if you make that up this year. Dobbs. And
that's the beauty. Is there's potential for it, right? That's the fun of looking forward to an upcoming season. I'm just looking at it and saying the floor of this team is lower than last year's team's floor.
Right, and it's not just because of the quarterback. You removed Allen Lazard, who is a good football player, off this roster. And yes, Watson and Romeo Dobbs are ascending players, but Allen Lazard, gone. Bob Tunyon, 53 catches, 470 yards, 2 touchdowns. Gone. And fans do this all the time, but you can't sit here and pretend. I'll do the same thing, so I'm not being accused of being some sort of homer for the Bears. Chicago lost David Montgomery. You can't just say we're going to replace it with Khalil Herbert and Dante Foreman. Maybe, but David Montgomery is a proven commodity.
Exactly.
Gone. And you have to
acknowledge
that. And it's the same thing with Tunyon and Lazard. You are going from proven players to question marks, and they can ascend, but you still don't have a backfill for it. So let's say Watson and Dobbs get better. Great. Who's still filling in behind them? Who's filling in for Dobbs' numbers from last year and Watson's numbers from last year? Oh, just the rookie's going to come in and do it? Oh, and then all rookies at tight end or an unproven guy in DeGuara? It's more than just the quarterback here. It's the entire offense is massive. Let's just hope all these guys click at once.
So that's fair, Jim, and I'm not disputing the fact that obviously those are two commodities that are gone, right? And Tunyon and Lazard combined for 113 catches last year. Well, but Watson had 41 catches. Dobbs had 42. I didn't realize it until I looked it up. Dobbs had more catches than Christian Watson a year ago. And I think we're all firm believers in this in the NFL. There's either a sophomore jump or a sophomore slump, right? And as we talked about a year ago with a guy like Lazard, somebody's got to catch the ball. So I'm with you. I don't necessarily expect a guy like Samori Toure, who was a late round pick a year ago, or a guy like Jaden Reed, who's a rookie, to come in and light the world on fire. But I don't know how much you will actually miss a guy like Lazard. Tunyon, I understand, because you're gonna struggle with two rookie tight ends. But Lazard, it's not like he lit the world on fire.
Okay, but can I just do this pitching analogy here? So if you forget lighting the world on fire, someone's going to catch it. Allen Lazard, a couple years ago, and even last year, he's so good. Now it's like, who's going to miss him?
I don't think anybody was making the case that he was so good. We were all very concerned a year ago about him.
Well, maybe you guys weren't, but Packer fans were saying, this Packers wide receiver room is better than you think because you got Allen Lazard, an ascending player. Now he's on another team. Bum. And so
never said that either.
But when you look at the pitching, but that's kind of what you're saying. He's just the body who happened to catch the passes. That sounds like a bum to me, Alex, when you look at a starting pitching staff. So if you have Alan Lazard is your 1, Watson is your 2, Dobbs is your 3 last year, and then Randall Cobb is your 4, and maybe that's how they finished, and then Bob Tunyon is your 5. Well, now all of a sudden, you have Watson as your 1, Dobbs as your 2, and then what is the rest of your pitching staff? It's all hope and a prayer. And some of those might click. And, yes, bodies will catch these, but what are they doing with it? How often, how consistently are they doing? Is Jordan Love even capable of putting it all up there? That's the point where you should have a concern about this offense, is that you cut out the legs of proven players that could have done it. I'm not saying you should have kept Alan Lazard, but you can't sit here and tell me you removed a Pro Bowl caliber quarterback last year, a top 10 quarterback last year in Aaron Rodgers. You removed a starting NFL receiver in Alan Lazard. He is a capable, I would say, number 2 NFL wide receiver. Then you have Bob Tunyon, who is a capable NFL tight end. You removed all those players off this team, and you replaced them with nothing. Rookies with hope.
Not to
and
mention,
I understand
not that Randall Cobb had any impact on the offense, but he was a veteran that did offer some guidance. And I know Jim doesn't always take to the analogy, but he's not saying that veterans don't offer anything ever. So, like, we knew that
he
Randall
still had
Cobb
34 catches last year for 400 yards.
Right. Like, he was still an X factor in addition to those numbers.
Thank you, yes.
So, like, here's my thing, is I love the youth that the Packers have. I love the idea of getting younger, and we have a lot of players on rookie contracts. And I really do think that, we can look at it, and the sky is the limit. Like, if Jordan Love hits and all these wide receivers turn out to be pretty good, I think we could have a pretty solid season. I just don't see it being.
Wait, say that again. Say it. You had 3 ifs in there?
Yeah,
right?
no,
right.
yeah, exactly.
So that's my point.
A lot of ifs. Like,
right.
There's a lot of question marks. So for Tausch to kind of say that we shouldn't worry, like, I don't. No one could convince me that the Packers have a higher floor than they did last year. We had way more. Like, we knew that we were going to win at minimum 8 games last year, right? You had Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
This I have a bigger question mark with Jordan Love and not really knowing how to close games. Not to mention, he is severely understaffed with people that understand football at the level of, like, even Alan Lazard or Randall Cobb did.
How to close out a football game.
It's just the odds are not in their favor to be super great. It doesn't mean that they can't be, but they're not giving all of these players the best tools to win the game. They are trying to make sure that they are in the best situation for 24 to 25 seasons, not necessarily this 2023 season.
Yes, and again, I'm not saying the Packers will stink. I have them somewhere 6 to 8 wins. I think that's probably at the bottom of the division fight. I honestly think.
I think that's a good realist.
Yeah, I think the Bears and the Packers will fight it out
realist.
between 6 and 8 wins to be at the bottom of the division this year. Maybe Minnesota falls off the face of the earth, so maybe one of those teams ends up fighting for 2nd and 3rd place. But regardless, I don't think either one of those teams. I only think there's one team, and if I'm betting on it, I'm betting the lines to make the actual playoffs by winning the division out of the NFC North. But when you look at the Packers, you removed proven things, and now you plugged them in with question marks. And there's two things can be true. You can have hope and have excitement, but here's the other part of it. So when you're trying to win football games or even have a consistent offense, Christian Watson might go off because this is what he did last year. I think he had like
4 or 5 games.
Yeah, about 5 amazing games. I think 4, or maybe 6 amazing games, 4 of those in a row, and then he was up and down the rest. But that's a rookie. Now let's assume as a sophomore jump, you have 10 amazing games or 11.
Yeah.
But what happens when he is double teamed? Because here's the other part of it. He's double teamed, right? You're not worried about anyone else. You're going to put someone over the top on Watson. So now he's requiring Dobbs and these younger guys. But when these defenses who are capable make changes, then Jordan Love has to account for them. But my point is, there can be young flashes. Christian Watson could go off for 10 catches and 160 yards and 2 touchdowns in the game, and the Packers win that game. And the next 2 games, he has 3 catches because teams now try to stop it. And he's a young player trying to figure out how to beat double teams and do all those. So you can be excited and be hopeful for the player as the individual. In the micro, there's individual players you can be excited about. But in the macro, to just assume
too many moving pieces that all have to be functioning and clicking at the same time.
I'll use it to this.
Even if Christian Watson's clicking, maybe he's running his routes perfectly and getting guys open. If Jordan Love isn't putting the ball in the right spot, it doesn't matter how great he's doing, and vice versa. Jordan Love could be throwing absolute dimes, but if Christian Watson's not there because he's not clicking, There's just so many moving parts with young people.
Yeah, and by not clicking, it could be a half second off. I just use your curling team. You've said that, like, hey, there's certain times in certain positions you guys have played together. You know exactly not only that you can handle the pressure, you know everyone in that position can handle the pressure. You know what everyone's going to do in that position because you've all been on the same team for a long time now, and that carries weight. There are younger teams in curling that might be as talented as you guys, but they don't have, and it's not apples to apples, but they don't have the same click in the same
finishing games when you're inexperienced as curling against a team that's played a lot of games is not easy to do. There's experience in handling the pressure and being able, knowing you can perform under the pressure. That kind of like is very relieving when you have to be in that situation, knowing you've been there before, you've done it and succeeded. So it definitely, I think there's similarities in football, and these kids. And I say that as nicely as I can, but we have a very young wide receiving group, and these kids are in for a heck of a season where there's going to be a lot of weight on their shoulders, or they're going to feel like there is, with Packer Nation hoping that they can, show that Jordan Love's the man.
There's strength and continuity. We can talk more about that on the other side. We are going to be out at Hometown Pharmacy in Wanakee on Friday. I believe we're going to have Chimray Dike from the Badgers joining us. We're going to be out there on behalf of Iron Jock because they're selling their gear out there with Hometown Pharmacy. I'm wearing my Iron Jock shirt today. You can see that on the stream, YouTube, at Jim and Matt, and everywhere else you want to stream anything. So Iron Jock, obviously, Matt, I love Iron Jock. You love Iron Jock even more.
Yeah, absolutely. That's because Iron Jock has that silver ion technology. Keeps you feeling fresh and smelling fresh for as long as you own the garment. Yesterday, I had the Iron Jock socks on. Fantastic socks. When I go home, I don't have to worry about throwing them in the hamper and burying them under other clothes because they don't stink. That's because Iron Jock has my back. It's a Wisconsin-based company designed from the inside out. You can go to ironjock.com right now and get your own Iron Jock gear. That's ironjockjoc.com and wear Wisconsin's finest apparel. Iron Jock. It's what's inside that matters.
This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. The mountains are blue, and we can prove it. Follow the show on Twitter at Jim and Matt.
Olson Toon has been customizing both residential and commercial outdoor living spaces since 1997. Matt Hamilton here from ESPN Madison. For over 50 years of combined experience in their management and design teams, Olson Toon has become one of Wisconsin's premier building and landscaping outdoor living firms. Landscaping and maintenance, irrigation, concrete work, pools, and more. If you have an outdoor living need, Olson Toon is here to help. Go to olsontoon.com to get started on your home project today. That's olsontoon.com.
Metro Ford of Madison is Madison's trusted Ford dealership. That means the best place to look at for a new Bronco, Ford F-150, Ford Edge, Ford Escape, Ford Explorer, or any other Ford, including service on your Ford, is Metro Ford of Madison. Browse their inventory at metrofordofmadison.com.
With summer in full swing, now's the perfect time to head to the ballpark. Score great deals on great seats from our friends at Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN. Every crack of the bat, every diving catch, every heart-pounding play. Experience it live, in person, from the first pitch to the final inning. Vivid Seats has a huge selection of MLB tickets, and they're the only ticket company that rewards your purchases. For the best selection of 2023, shop now. Just visit vividseats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats. Experience it live.
For the ones who know safety isn't a catchphrase, it's a culture. And the ones who help make sure everyone makes it home safe. For the safety-minded who watch everyone's backs, Grainger offers supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as safety assessments and training to keep your facility safe and your people safer. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The best quality roofs, siding, windows, and doors, expertly installed and at an affordable price. Hi, this is Bo from Ridgetop Exteriors. We're the trusted local experts you can count on for your home exterior projects. There's a reason so many customers recommend us after we help with their projects. Go to ridgetopexteriors.com for a free estimate.
My eye doctor gives me a lot of great advice, but the best piece of advice she ever gave me was where to go for LASIK. TLC Laser Eye Centers. Did you know that TLC has performed over 2.3 million LASIK procedures nationally, including treatment for over 10,000 doctors? Doctors recommend TLC because that's who they trust with their eyes. So book your free consultation now at TLC Laser Eye Centers. The doctor's choice for LASIK.
Right now, TLC is offering $1,000 off their Wave Light Laser when treated in July. That's $500 off per eye. So call 888-TLC-2020 or visit SaveOnTLC.com. That's SaveOnTLC.com. The doctor's choice for LASIK. Must mention this promotion and be treated in July of 2023 to qualify. $1,000 off for both eyes on standard Wavelight price. $500 off for one eye. Cannot be combined with any other offers. See details at SaveOnTLC.com.
I love being an orthopedic surgeon because I can help people improve their lives. My name is Ashish Raval. I'm an orthopedic surgeon at Stoughton Hospital and the Ortho Team Clinic. My specialty is sports medicine, focusing specifically on the care of the shoulder, hip, and knee. So the goal for me is always to see patients who want to get back to their active lifestyle. The techniques that I use now allow patients to return back to the activities, including sports, faster than ever before.
Learn more at orthoteam.com.
Ma, is this how you feed a hamster?
I think so.
Sometimes it's okay to think you know, but when it comes to the right car seat for your child's age and size, don't just think. No. Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Ho Chunk Gaming Medicine.
'Cause I love you more than I could love myself. Mama said don't fall in love again. She remembers all that I forget. Yeah, I try so hard, I can't outrun myself. Oh, strawberry chains.
844-770-3776 is how you get into Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. Jim Rutledge, Matt Hamilton with you live from Roost Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. Our Iron Jock poll question that we're asking right now is basically, do you think the Packers offense will be better or worse than last season? We'll hear from Mark Tauscher again. He said this on Wilde and Tausch earlier today. We are reacting to it. It was a landslide early, but the homers are coming in. Right now, it is at 53% say it'll be worse, 47% will be better. Honestly, if you had put push in there, I would imagine that's where most of the votes go. But if I would look at it like this when I'm answering a poll question, am I betting my mortgage on them being better or worse next year? And I would bet my mortgage that they're worse offensively next year as far as offensive rank.
Yeah.
You are putting a lot of faith into a lot of young players and Coach LaFleur. And the jury's out on Coach LaFleur a little bit as far as can he be a head coach and a play caller. Last year didn't go well for him. Like, you have to put the blame for anything Aaron Rodgers struggled-wise on LaFleur as well, but you also have to give him the credit the other years.
Right.
But the thing is, how much, and this we don't know the answer to, and I think it's fair to question, how much of the success and this offense, everyone says, oh, Aaron had to run his own style off and all these sort of things, but also Aaron was out there making checks and audibles to maybe make this offense look better than it would have been. So
possible.
That's the part we don't know the answer to. So you're just taking a big leap of faith. 844-770-3776, how you get into the show. Do you think the Packers offense will be better or worse than last season? And Strofe, I mean, you jumped in earlier with a lot of optimism, and I'm not saying you can't be excited. I'm just saying that if you're betting your mortgage, it seems pretty wild to bet on it being better when you're removing a Pro Bowl quarterback and a capable, solid starting NFL wide receiver and a capable, solid starting NFL tight end.
Right, and I think, it's an interesting conversation. We kind of talked about this a little bit last night on the Great Dane Huddle, and Brad Nortman alluded to how in his career he had seen how, there was a veteran that maybe was such a large presence, and we can view that as Aaron Rodgers in this case, was removed from a locker room in order to let a younger quarterback succeed. You can make the connections with Carolina where Brad played as to who that was, and Cam Newton obviously being the younger quarterback, and that led to a Super Bowl run for them. I'm not saying that's going to happen here in Green Bay. I'm just saying they're allowing Jordan Love the room to be kind of the veteran, and we've talked about that before. But I don't know. I don't know where I would place my mortgage. I think Tausch has a fair point. This wasn't a good offense last year in comparison to the first 3 years of the Matt LaFleur era where they were scoring close to 30 points per game. They were right in the middle of the pack in points per game last year, just to give you an idea. So they ranked 14th in the league. They averaged 21.8 points per game. But they were over 2 points per game worse than the 13th team, which was the Raiders, and they were just about 0.5 points per game better than Atlanta and New England were the closest teams better than them, both bad offenses and non-playoff teams. So I don't know if I have faith in Jordan Love to consistently put up 24, 28 points a game, but I think he can be in that wheelhouse. I truly do. I truly do.
To your point, that wheelhouse, there's not a large margin of error for them to slide down the list and be 18th.
Right, 18th was the Giants, but that was a playoff team, 21.2 points.
But we're not, and again, we're not asking about playoff teams and the rest of that. We're talking about this offense specifically.
Sure.
And I think this is a factual statement. On paper, the Packers got objectively worse on offense. We don't know what it's going to look like.
For sure.
But as far as proven, and this is how I judge any sport. If you're asking me to make a prediction on a team or a prediction on a player or any of that sort of stuff, how many question marks do I have? And the Packers have a phenomenally higher amount of question marks going into this offseason than they did last offseason. And that's the other part of it.
Offseason in my lifetime.
Right, yes, great point. But going in from last offseason into the start of the year, even after Strofe had his real talk with Jason Wilde last year, he still was coming in at 10 wins. And you probably in your head are like, oh, they probably get to 11 or 12.
Right.
But
felt like Green Bay to me.
This time around, it doesn't – I think, one, Packer fans, rightfully so, I think take offense for granted. Like, oh, offenses just score points. Like, the Packers could be shut out once this year or have or not score a touchdown once this year. Like, that's not out of the realm of possibility. Like,
No, it's happened with Aaron Rodgers.
And because the other part of it is, what happens when they play the Chiefs? And if Mahomes, even if the Packers defense, let's just, again, assume they'll be slightly above, let's be 13th, okay? Mahomes goes up, puts up 30. And the Packers, let's say they're up 21-0 quickly, which is not out of the realm of possibility. Now Jordan Love's got to try to chase points. That's really hard for any quarterback to do. All of a sudden, all they do is get field goals, and they lose 38-7 or 38-9 or something.
Sounds like a revenge game to me. That's all I'm saying. Jordan Love revenge game.
So you point that out, but most of the stuff we have on paper from Jordan Love ain't great.
I will say the point of optimism that I do have with this offense is, as a cook, and fancying myself a good cook.
Oh, geez, sorry.
Here we go.
There's something to be said about having too many cooks in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a little bit last year, especially when Rodgers did not have a ton of confidence in that wide receiving core. Like, the most confidence he had was in Randall Cobb and Alan Lazard, what was Alan Lazard's fourth year?
Fifth, I think.
Fifth year. He had a little bit of rapport with him, but I don't think Aaron Rodgers loved his wide receiving core, especially not having Devontae. You've got two essentially coaches in Matt LaFleur and Aaron Rodgers calling plays, and then Aaron Rodgers kind of getting that final look through. A lot of times that can be good. Mm-hmm. And I think for a really experienced team, that's something that could really click. But for an inexperienced team, trying to do a lot of these play changes, that can be something that can be a little trickier. And when you have too many cooks in the kitchen and you're getting too many signals, it can get confusing. And I am excited to see what Jordan Love, who is essentially going to be an extension of Matt LaFleur, is going to be able to produce, because I don't see Jordan Love having the experience to check out nearly as many plays as Aaron Rodgers might have seen. So I'm curious to see how a true Matt LaFleur offense is going to be run. It might just hum because there's not going to be any sort of pushback. But
here's what we know for sure.
We're going to see. Again, it's hope that I'm pushing forward on.
What we know for sure is that for the majority of time that Aaron Rodgers and Matt LaFleur were together, the offense hummed. Last year was the only year they didn't do it. And what changed? Devontae Adams changed. So you remove Devontae Adams, you remove the star player out of there, and yet we're putting it all on Aaron Rodgers. Devontae Adams ain't walking through that door. Christian Watson's not Devontae Adams. Yeah. So, again, if you're looking at it realistically, what happened there is you had a drop-off of talent, and then you saw the quarterback play dip. And now we're saying we're taking off more talent and putting a less proven quarterback in there, but the offense will get better. Like that's the logical fallacy that doesn't hold any water here. Hope, yeah, fine. You can hope for whatever you want. Hope in one hand and crap in the other and see which one fills up faster. I'm just saying that what you did here is that you said a bunch of cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers ain't a cook. He's a chef.
Yeah.
You took the chef out of the kitchen and you got a bunch of cooks thinking they're chefs.
Yeah.
And what's going to happen with that? And that's what I don't know the answer to, and that's where it'll get tricky. What I do know is I was on a call earlier today, and look, I feel like $1 million because I look like $1 million because everyone on this call was asking about semaglutide and how much weight I had lost. And I had lost about 30 pounds. I'm down to 8.7% body fat from 21% body fat. All I did was start taking semaglutide, which is the non-name brand version of that weight loss drug you see everywhere out there on social media and everywhere else. I've taken it at Carbon World Health. That's where I recommend you take it. Dr. Ness Rodriguez will give you that treatment. It is safe. It is FDA approved. It will burn fat, not muscle. It will also help change your appetite so you'll eat better, you'll eat less, you'll eat more efficiently. All I've done from the beginning is take semaglutide, same workout regimen, and obviously I'm eating better as part of the semaglutide. Start your weight loss journey, get your weight loss goals achieved with Carbon World Health. This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. Miss any of the show? Find full show podcasts free on Wisconsin On Demand and wherever you get your podcasts.
Matt Hamilton here for Iron Jock. Believe it or not, being an Olympic curler takes a lot of practice time on the ice. And despite always being cool, I still work up a sweat. That's why I love Iron Jock and their no-stink technology. Silver ion technology is the how behind why it works, and that is about as technical as I can get with it. What I do know is that if I'm on the ice or just wanting to look good, I know Iron Jock has t-shirts, polos, and hoodies for me. Support this Wisconsin-based company today and get gear at ironjoc.com. That's ironjoc.com.
From color-changing alexandrite to shimmering zircon and everything in between at Chalmers Jewelers, you'll find high-quality, affordable, one-of-a-kind pieces. We source straight from the gem cutters, and we manufacture in-house from start to finish. As the manufacturer, we believe in truth in pricing. Never pay more for quality and stunning, beautiful jewelry. She's one of a kind, and so should her jewelry be. While others may send your jewelry dreams to someone else to make, with us, your dreams become reality with the help of our custom jewelers, with you involved the whole way. With a staff that has over 200 years of combined experience, why buy from a place that marks up jewelry made by the thousands? When you can buy direct from Chalmers for that one-of-a-kind piece that is better quality, often for less.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
What does summer sound like in a new Chevy? Find the best way to the ballpark with the Chevy Equinox navigation system. Load up the kayaks with room to spare in the spacious Chevy Trailblazer with 60/40 split folding rear seats. Haul out the camper and spend a night roasting marshmallows with the Chevy Silverado. Or feel the roar of the crowd and bring the whole crew along in the Chevy Traverse with seating for up to 8. So what are you waiting for? Click now and find summer happiness in a new Chevy. See your Badgerland Chevy dealer today. Traverse seating up to 8 standard and LS available on LT with second row bench seat, RS Premier and High Country seat 7.
Out of my mind, I'm not myself without you, baby. So terrified.
Little Image, Out of My Mind, from their new album, self-titled. Out now.
Out of my mind every time without you, baby.
Little Image, Out of My Mind, out now.
Okay, team, line's already around the block, and we're open in 10. Yesterday, we had 3-hour wait times.
Chef Pierre's staff is a little
Why
underseasoned.
is this pot not boiling yet?
An experienced sous chef is the missing ingredient in his kitchen.
What do you mean, plate or a bowl? You work at La Pasta in La Cup.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Dream Big Gala, the celebration benefiting Big Brothers Big Sisters of Dane County. Celebrate the power of mentoring at this event on Friday, July 28th at Monona Terrace in Madison. This year's special guest features Dane County Circuit Court Judge and former Big Brother Everett Mitchell. There's also a cocktail reception, silent auction, and music and dancing with DJ Payne 1. Get your tickets at bbbsmadison.org and celebrate mentoring in our community with Big Brothers Big Sisters of Dane County.
Aubrey Schlingen here, your 2023 Dane County Fairs to the Fair. The 2023 Dane County Fair has a full lineup of fun-filled entertainment and activities celebrating our 173 years The Dane County Fair is putting on an exciting fair with daily free entertainment that includes Paul Bunyan lumberjack shows, stingray encounters, and magical bubbles. We have a week full of some amazing musical entertainment as well. The Dane County Fair runs July 20th through the 23rd, and gates are open 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. For more information, visit our website, danecountyfair.com.
Hi, I'm Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock with Retirement Income Strategies. And what sets us apart is we're an independent, family-run office. We help clients like you understand the financial world and build a portfolio that's in your best interest. To learn more, go to madisonmoneyguy.com.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by X Golf in Madison and Middleton.
Rutledge and Hamilton continues live from Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. I'm Rutledge, he's Hamilton. Alex Strofe back at the Everlight Solar Studio. Get into the show, 844-770-3776. Our Iron Jock poll question, do you think the Packers offense will be better or worse than last year? And right now it is dead on 50-50 on Twitter. And, man,
Hey, I have no problem with people hoping for it.
Yeah, I'm not saying it can't happen. But again, if I was betting my mortgage on it.
I wonder if it would change at all if we had phrased it like if you had to bet a substantial amount.
Right.
What would you say?
Maybe that would have changed it because just on paper, we all agree, on paper, the Packers offense got worse.
Yeah.
And the last time that happened.
But in my heart, I want to believe the Packers will do better.
Right. But the last time it happened.
So I'm voting yes. I'm going to vote yes right now.
You just gave a mindset into all of our listeners. The last time this happened, going into last season, they got worse by removing Devontae Adams, and, their offense fell off a cliff. And so maybe there's something to having playmakers around your quarterback, whatever the age of that quarterback is. And maybe the Packers, it all clicks and it all gets better. And I guess the way I look at it, Matt, you said it earlier, this doesn't feel like a plan for the Packers to be even better on offense this year. Maybe they will be, but I think the plan more is, and this I can buy, and Wilde even said this, they will be a playoff contending team in 2 seasons. Not this upcoming season, but the following season. That's their plan. I think that's their plan.
Well,
and assuming Jordan Love is just capable, I think they can be that.
Right. When you look at all these young players, obviously, they're going to have to get a little lucky. You're going to need these players to hit if you're going to want to click for next year. But, we've got a lot of young guys in positions that can really contribute to an offense. And, we have young tight ends, young wide receivers. And if they do end up clicking, which is obviously the hope, in a year or two with Jordan Love hopefully being good enough to keep his job as a starting quarterback, these guys – they could be really good, but we're taking advantage of young players on a rookie deal, which is going to be friendly to the organization. That's the hope right now, because we're going to have to pay Jordan Love in a year or two if he proves that he's good enough to be the guy. So we can't have super expensive wide receivers and tight ends, and we have an expensive running back. We're not going to be able to afford it. So the Packers are hoping that Jordan Love's the guy and that all of these young guys that we have right now work out.
Which won't happen. All the young players will not work out.
Right, but
you even stumbled on it because you don't want to say that, but that's just the facts.
Yeah, I don't want to say that the young guys won't work out, but we get a couple good hits, say 3, 2.
Because DeGuara was the greatest thing since sliced bread when he was drafted.
Say it's Musgrave, maybe this.
You don't have to name names.
And obviously,
Kraft. And so the other tight end. So Strofe, you can hop in on this as well. So you're a big draft nerd. Give me the optimistic view on what Jalen Reed from Michigan State could do for his career, and then also this year. What do you think optimistically?
Yeah, optimistically, I think the high side for him is a Randall Cobb-esque role for the Packers, right? And I say that tongue in cheek a little bit because he'll start as a kick returner likely with Keyshawn Nixon having a bigger role in the defense this year, likely the starting slot corner. And he'll likely be the 3rd or 4th wide receiver out the gates just because of the opportunity in that room. Now, I don't expect him to have the Randall Cobb-esque rookie year. I think he'll struggle at the gates a little bit. I don't think he's as talented as a prospect as Cobb was, but he has that emergency quarterback type role that Cobb also played. Badgers fans will remember he kind of single-handedly beat the Badgers last year in overtime, caught a touchdown and threw a touchdown against the Badgers last year in that horrible loss to Michigan State. So I really like him. I think he's a dynamic dude. I really liked that pick of Jaden Reed from Michigan State. But, again, we'll see. That opportunity in the wide receiver room is just wide open, guys, so it's interesting.
He's 5, what is he?
Like 5'11", 6 foot?
180 is what I see. So what's the knock on him? Why did he sit there? I know what it is, but I don't want to be the guy saying it all the time. What's the other
size.
what's the other outcome there?
The outcome is that he's too small and gets beat up.
And forget even injured. He's too small, can't get open, or he's just not a good enough route. He's just not a good enough player.
He does have good lateral speed, but yeah, of course. I mean, the Packers' MO has always been draft and develop. You know this better than anybody.
But Alex, but that's I'm not playing that game of like, I'm just saying positive, he's the next Randall Cobb. Pessimist, he's a bust. Realist, he could just be a nice little gadget player. And so some of these guys are going to miss. Jalen Reed could hit because he's got good lateral speed and he seems like a good football player, wide receiver, and he could be a safety valve for Jordan Love. He could hit, he could miss because his size is not the size that usually succeeds in the NFL for a million different reasons, and he could get thrown off routes. He could never get big enough. He could be an injured type player, and so all those things are just as much in play. Let's go with Christian Watson. Both of you guys can hop in. A positive outcome for him? What? Justin Jefferson, DK Metcalf. He's not going to be DK Metcalf. He's never going to have that kind of build. But that Mike Williams type player?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. It's Mike Williams, a guy who's kind of there to blow the top off, big play threat, not much of a guy who you're going to dink and doink with and get chunk like 5-6 yards at a time. He seems like the kind of guy you target a couple times, over 10-yard passes, let his legs create space.
Who are we talking about?
Christian Watson.
Yeah. I mean, similar height. I don't know that he has the vertical leap ability that Mike Williams does. That was always his big thing.
Yeah,
but Watson's clearly athletic, right? And I think Packers fans have a lot to get excited about him and Dobbs. I guess I didn't realize how big of a season Dobbs actually had last year. I mean, it wasn't obviously the flashiest like Watson's was, but he had some really nice plays. He's kind of got a James Jones type feel to him a little bit, does Romeo Dobbs, and he has that great rapport with Love, which I don't know that Watson has the same rapport with Love that Dobbs does. So I really do have high hopes for Dobbs this year to make that leap.
But again, high hopes, you said James Jones type. So, I mean, and I like
and
Dobbs.
James Jones was a great receiver in the Rodgers era.
Okay. I mean, so how much of that was Rodgers to, and this is the other answer, we don't know the question, how much of that was Rodgers to James Jones? Is James Jones just an average receiver with a average quarterback?
Jimmy, I hope we're having this conversation in 3 years and we're saying how much of that was Jordan Love and how good is Romeo Dobbs?
I know, the right word. Hope.
I am really.
You definitely, you should hope for that.
What does give me excitement is Romeo Dobbs came out last year and had to pick up that number one receiver role a couple times with Christian Watson and Lazard being injured. So that's part of the reason that I was his production didn't surprise me as much as it might have you with those 42 catches, Strofe. But Watson, he was out for 5 games, I think, last year.
He missed time in college, too, and his body size.
Games,
and that was my point of
I'm super excited to see how Romeo Dobbs does work out with this offense and if he is as durable as he was last year because he's going to have a bigger role.
Romeo Dobbs missed time, too.
I think he only missed 2 games, which is good.
My point being, all these guys have definite upside, but they also still have question marks. And I like Romeo Dobbs. You can go back to, I like the Romeo Dobbs pick.
Yeah, that was your pick.
I like that pick. Yeah. So, I'm not knocking on him, but again, I don't know what I don't think he's, to put this in Packers terms, you're right, he's probably more James Jones than Greg Jennings. And I don't know Watson, I don't have a comp for him. But, again, Watson seems more like a big play guy, but I think you're going to have to bargain or budget for injuries from Watson. His body size or his body has always been injured. And so I think you just have to account for that more often than not. He's going to miss some time, even within a game. But then the other part of it is, that I keep on going back to, is that where are these catches? Are they meaningful? Are they garbage? Not from last year. I'm just saying, yes, someone's going to accumulate stats. But when this season happens, will these stats be meaningful? Will Romeo Dobbs run that route with the pressure on him and he runs it 7, he needs to be 8? Will Christian Watson feel the pressure, not from Aaron Rodgers throwing the football and drops it, from being the elite, the number one pass catcher, for always having someone over the top. Has he developed enough as a pass route runner to be the next big thing? And they all might come true, but my point being is we are saying so many ifs and buts and maybes for this team, and we didn't say that last year, and last year's team only won 8 games. So, yes, maybe it all clicks, but there are so many questions. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying I wouldn't bet my mortgage on it. And, yeah, you have hope, have optimism, have all that, but also just know some of these guys are just going to miss. Yeah. It's just how it goes. We don't think – nobody up here has been touting Goody as a great GM, even as a drafter, even in the Aaron Rodgers era. So that all changed because Aaron's gone? Or do you think Goody will be like most GMs and have hits and misses?
No, I mean, I think actually prior to this Jordan Love takeover, we held Goody's draft in medium to high regard.
I wouldn't say high. Is it third? What is he? He's a horrendous third-round drafter? Is that what it is?
You got it, yeah, third round.
Yeah, he is horrendous at that. I would say he is like a B drafter, B minus. He hits and he misses like most GMs. He's not elite at it. He definitely, and then the Jordan Love one would bring him down, but he's definitely had his misses too. And so he's had his hits.
Amari Rodgers was a third-round pick as a receiver, right?
Missing in the third round regularly is a brutal thing for a GM.
I just don't think he had the right tools, Amari Rodgers.
You stand by that, don't you?
Here's the thing. In theory, what's the difference between Jalen Reed and Amari Rodgers? We don't know what Jalen Reed is, so we're going to be excited about it.
Stop calling him Jalen. His name is Jaden,
whatever. What's the difference between the two? Hope.
The one's a rookie.
Yeah, one filled your hand already with Amari Rodgers with the evidence that he can't get it done, and your other hand is empty right now.
One played in the Big Ten, one played in the ACC. That's what we got.
Is the ACC a better conference, though, for playmakers? Probably.
Well, Clemson is a better university than Michigan State, if that's what you're asking, yes.
So, again, it's not fair to read for that, but I'm just saying that
there's a lot of question marks leading into
there's a lot of hope, and that's fine. You can hope all you want. Just don't speak definitively with hope like Mark did.
Yeah.
You can't come up here and be like, definitively, all these things I hope will happen.
I don't think he spoke definitively. He was just asking a question.
And I'm just asking the question, why would you think that? Play it again. He's got definitive.
Yeah, one more play.
He's speaking, just asking
What makes
questions.
us think that we're going to be that much worse on offense than we were last year? Because Aaron Rodgers has been a great quarterback. He is a 4-time MVP. I don't have to go through all the accolades of what he's done. He wasn't that last year. And again, a lot of reasons for it. I think the broken thumb was a monster reason for why he wasn't as effective. But we act like this offense, which was not very good last year, statistically, that it's going to be markedly worse.
Man,
it wasn't a good offense a year ago. He's not wrong.
And it's going to be worse this year. 59% of you agree with me. This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. The mountains are blue, and we can prove it. Follow the show on Twitter at Jim and Matt. Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Alex Strofe.
Varsity on Wisconsin On Demand is home to all the latest and best Badgers content on ESPN Wisconsin. Subscribe on Apple, Spotify, Wisconsin On Demand, and wherever you get your podcasts. The Wisconsin football team has extended an offer to one of the top local prospects in the class of 2025. Verona's Trey Poteet, who plays wide receiver and defensive back for the Wildcats, received an offer Monday from the Badgers and head coach Luke Fickell. Poteet is expected to play at the next level as a cornerback and is listed as a 3-star prospect by 24/7 Sports and the number 4 overall prospect in the state of Wisconsin. Trey is the son of former Wisconsin cornerbacks coach Hank Poteet, who spent 2 seasons with the Badgers.
Pella's window and door design options are virtually limitless. Customize your order by August 31st and you could bundle and save big at PellaWI.com.
Matt Hamilton here to tell you about my friends at Revive Restoration. Nobody plans for accidents to happen, but when they do, you can count on Revive to be professional, efficient, and detail-oriented as they make things right again. Revive Restoration.
If you're looking for a special piece of jewelry for any occasion, Condon Jewelers is always there for you. Condon Jewelers has the best selection of jewelry you'll ever find and guaranteed to have the lowest prices in the Madison area. Free shipping is always available. Visit CondonJeweler.com or call 241-3406 and ask for Jim, the owner, who's at the store every day. Shop locally. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
I suffered with knee pain for almost 4 to 5 years. I wanted to have the conformis after looking at all the different options. I think having the surgery with the ortho team is the only way to go. They all look out for you as a patient. After the surgery, my life changed dramatically. It's so much easier to do the everyday things in life and just the things that we like to do as a family. And my wife told me, she says, now I can't keep up with you anymore.
Learn more at orthoteam.com.
In a land carved by glaciers and shaped by champions, Trapper's Turn is a specialty golfing experience. 27 holes designed by two-time U.S. Open champion Andy North present an enjoyable challenge at any level. Nestled between beautiful pines, the all-new 12 North Par 3 course offers the ultimate in golfing fun. Refuel and unwind with year-round dining in the heart of the picturesque Dells. Golf time is precious. Spend it somewhere beautiful. This is Trapper's Turn. Book your tee time at trappersturn.com.
Take the long, strange trip with Scalzo and Brust, presented by Michelob Ultra. Weekdays from 4 to 6.
Ben Bruston, are you smarter than Ben Bruston? 3, 2, 1. What is the process of a liquid turning into a solid called? Pass! Ben, you passed on the question. What is the process of a liquid turning into a solid?
Yeah, I did.
Water's a liquid.
Freezes.
Subscribe to the Scalzo and Brust podcast free on the Wisconsin On Demand app.
To those who've ever dreamt of their perfect event, those dreams are worthy and they are possible. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With hard work, passion, and great music, we will make your event dreams a reality. Every event is a labor of love with one-on-one planning, customization, and flawless execution. Bringing your event to life is what we do. For a fun, memorable event, visit celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
I should be dancing the pain away.
It wasn't a good offense here, though. He's not wrong.
And it's going to be worse this year. 59% of you agree with me. This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. I am Rutledge. He is Hamilton. We're live from Whisker Steakhouse in Middleton. Alex Strofe drew the short straw. He is at the Everlight Solar Studio.
Wah, wah.
And Alex was out here. We did a Prep Mania show out here with the coaches. And Alex, we got Lee from Whisker Steakhouse out here. And what was your experience out here? Because I know you love the sides, but obviously the steak was great too.
Well, obviously the steak was great, Jimmy. But the potatoes, I still don't know how to say it. Au gratin, am I getting that right, Lee?
You got it right.
That is the most tasty thing I've ever eaten in my entire life, I think.
Besides the steak.
Besides the steak, of course, but in terms of a side, in terms of potatoes, I've never had anything better.
Yeah, Ruth's famous for those. Other things too, but certainly those potatoes are excellent.
So Matt and I are out here. We're going to try the Gambler Old Fashioned. And Lee, you were telling us in the break, but I think it's fun to share with our listeners and fans the story behind this Old Fashioned that we'll be trying a little bit later.
Yeah, Ruth Fertel is our founder, and it's a long story, but she bought a restaurant from a guy named Chris, and then it burnt down, and she threw her name in front of it, Ruth's Chris. But when she owned it, that was in the 60s, and that was sort of days that she was drinking a martini and smoking cigarettes in the back and doing some gambling when she had time if she wasn't working really hard, you know. And the legend has it that she'd always take and they say that she won more than not, right? And when she won, she gave the tips to the team. So she was cool, for sure.
That's
but one of her
fantastic.
favorite drinks was an Old Fashioned. So this particular drink we have here, the Gambler's Old Fashioned, is a tribute to Ruth Fertel.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yes, and Matt, you this is the one we're both excited to try it.
Yeah.
But you fancy yourself not only a chef but also a bartender.
Well, I mean, I like a nice cocktail, and if I'm gonna have a nice whiskey, but I'm gonna mix it, the Old Fashioned's the way to do it. So I'm very excited to see how the top-notch bartenders here at the Horseshoe Bar and Ruth's Chris Steakhouse do this time.
Well, I had the Nola Mule when I was here on Saturday. My wife had a pomegranate martini, crushed it, and we always talk about Kevin. Kevin wasn't even the bartender that night, and they still crushed it. So everything was fantastic.
I just can't stress this enough, though. It's like, again, my first thought with Ruth Chris was like nice steakhouse. Like I literally had a T-shirt on. I switched into a polo. I'm in here. I walked into the Horseshoe Bar. The vibe is not that like super stuffy kind of like steakhouse vibe.
Absolutely.
Like there's a nice like you could come here after work and have a drink and have an appetizer.
Told you, I've been telling you forever, man.
Yeah,
Happy hour
is
great.
It is definitely jumped up onto my radar.
It's a club of good times.
Yeah, again, I felt like I needed to wear a polo, and I'm like, you know what? I could have wore what I had coming into work here today. So definitely something that I know I was a little bit surprised by, so I felt like I am our listener. So I thought I'd forward that to everyone else. Like, come as you are. Ruth Chris is accommodating, and the vibe is not too stuffy or steakhouse stuffy like I originally kind of pegged it.
And that's one of Ruth Fertel's famous sayings. She's got a few of them, but she says, just come as you are, unless you're no fun.
Well,
and I know that doesn't apply to you.
Not all
Matt
the time.
brings the fun.
Yes.
Try to.
And, Matt, you also fancy yourself a chef. So you guys were talking a little shop beforehand, too?
Yep. I was because as you know, and as our listeners know, we've chatted here with Lee before, and I walked through a recipe. This time, last night, I had pork chops. I had some delicious pork chops. Just grilled them on the smoker like you usually would. But I had in our CSA box, which is getting like a bunch of random farm vegetables every 2 weeks from this farm. I had like a weird mushroom called lion's mane mushroom. And it literally looks like a cotton ball. They look really wild, but they shred apart kind of like those imitation crab meat pieces.
I think it's like cotton candy.
So like, shredding, almost like a string cheese kind of.
Gotcha.
Right? So what I did is I shredded it all apart like a string cheese and gave it a quick little chop and mixed it in like I would a crab or a crab cake and just substituted this crab out with this mushroom and made like mushroom cakes essentially. But I made the same sauce I would for a crab cake, and it was like mind-blowing. That being said, I'm pretty sure I could put this sauce on an old shoe, and I'd give it my best effort to eat it because it's so delicious.
Yeah, but it's not as good as your wife's cookies.
Yeah, that's fair. The sourdough cookies are next level. What do we got here?
So this is a gift from Lee. So why don't you go and open up on the air?
Yeah, you've been killing
there.
it, though, like with that culinary stuff.
Yes, so you have a little honorary thing here.
Wow,
so go ahead and show it to
Madison chef.
Yes, so go ahead and show it to the Twitter stream. We'll have our team here take a photo of it for social as well. Go ahead and give us some dazzling detail on that.
Yeah, so this looks like what they would put, like a chef T-shirt or chef coat that they would put. It feels like a nice flame.
Stand up so they can take a nice photo with you.
Feels like a nice fire retardant material.
There you go.
So you can work around the grill, and it's hot. It's got the Ruth Chris logo on one
there
side.
With Lee there in the photo there too, yeah. So as they're doing this, it has embroidered into there Matt Hamilton, ESPN Madison chef, and then the Ruth Chris Steakhouse.
I'm putting it on
just
right
short
now.
sleeve. I thought about it, and I thought, if you're in the house or in the summertime when you're usually grilling.
Yeah.
But looking at all those shirts that you typically wear, I should have got something a little more vibrant,
With the old chef jackets that I used to wear, I used to just roll the sleeves up anyway, so this is perfect.
Nice.
I'm super excited. This is definitely replacing the chef jacket now because I have, like I said, safety first, so this material is definitely not going to catch fire on me. And it says chef on it.
Yeah.
I might be able to sneak into the kitchen, too, and, fire some steaks
I wasn't sure what to put on the bottom. I was going to put, Olympic gold medalist. And I thought I'll stick to the ESPN.
Yeah, I think ESPN chef is good because I don't think anyone in our office can cook with me.
I agree.
I don't think so either.
So
too many young kids. They can't even afford the ingredients yet.
So, Lee, I'll ask you this.
Still on ramen packs.
Matt can be a little bougie at times, but there's the show really popular called The Bear on Hulu right now, but it does – he's a chef, and they do the whole yes chef thing, and it's been kind of a cultural phenomenon, and like
French Brigade style.
Yeah, and so it's a really popular show. It's kind of gotten the zeitgeist of everyone watching it. So I wonder now, because even my wife and I, we had watched an episode before we came here, and we're like, it wasn't that I had any feedback. I was like, but it just helped me understand how much more goes into preparation somewhere like here, because we had the porterhouse for 2, and just all the attention to detail from the front of the house to the back of the house was amazing. Even like taking the butter and the sauce from the steak and putting it on our steak when we were there. But we had the sweet potato casserole with his like candy crusted on top with the pecans.
Good, yeah.
Amazing. And then also some mushrooms. But do you have any cases now where you get people thinking they got a little bit of – I hear people do like home remodeling and be like, I hate those HGTV shows because everyone thinks they can sell or remodel a house now. With the booming of Guy Fieri and the show The Bear and all these things, like, do you have any cases where it's like, I get it, Matt, but like you really don't know what it means to work here?
I don't know. Matt's he's an impressive dude when he talks about his culinary and his love for –
And I'm using it as my straw man, but just in general, yeah.
I mean – definitely, I got a little bit of chops in the kitchen, and it is definitely a different animal when you're preparing for, family of 4 or 2 in my case, me and my wife, as opposed to serving like 350, 400 people a night. That kind of preparation, a lot of math, a lot of cohesive and moving parts,
it's team
which
ball.
is what we're hoping that this Packers offense.
Yeah,
so you got a lot of rookie cooks in the kitchen right now, and you need them all to be doing their thing so that final dish can come together, and that's maybe a playoff run.
Let's Lee, your thoughts on the Packers though before we let you go. We were talking.
Well,
about
I like
it
what Matt was saying. Matt was saying some great things, and I always hear the little bit of a bitterness of the Bear fan in you. I really do. But I like the Packers this year. I'm just glad Rodgers is gone. He did great things, but after that Seattle loss, that always stung me, and he just never went beyond and rised above it. And yeah, sure he kept us winning, but it was always painful. I'm looking more forward, even if we're losing, just some different unity to the team. And I think when you talk about getting rid of the chef, I think there's truth to that. But at the same time, I think there's a lot of people when he was just so dominant, even to the coaching staff, that they're going to just maybe unify. It is questionable for sure, but I think there's a good opportunity for the youth to rise above it.
And I do agree, like the vibes and for the future of the team, like that can look bright. I mean, there's no reason to say none of these guys are going to succeed. You just don't know. But there is, I think, an ideally, and Matt, you've hit on it too, that there's going to be more positive vibes. And I mean, that can matter for at least a year. That I think Aaron was done. He was unhappy in Green Bay, and that kind of just bled through everything. He's happier in New York, and the players are happier, at least in that locker room now. It's just a different sort of fresh look on it. And then we'll have to see at the end of the year what the product looks like when you got a bunch of cooks and see who the chefs end up being. But in this case, I do think both of you are right in the idea that there's going to be a different vibe coming from Green Bay. What that leads to wins, who knows, but long-term that could be better.
I keep thinking also a little bit about Shanahan and, the way he operates his offense. It seems like LaFleur wants to do that too. And look at the quarterbacks he's putting in there.
Oh, yeah.
So certainly Love is in question, but I think there's an opportunity for them to just do these extra plays, these other things they weren't doing.
As far as the situation, Love might be in one of the better situations now that he is a starter. You have a guy who wants to run a system with a system quarterback, not necessarily a superstar. So this might be a good fit for Love and LaFleur going forward.
There you go. Lee, thanks so much for the Packers insight and for obviously the Matt's wonderful gift there. And
you guys are so fun, by the way.
Yeah, we love being out here. Scalzo and Bruss are coming up later as well. So coming out to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, enjoy the happy hour that we told everyone about. This is Rutledge and Hamilton presented by Coors Light.
Hey, Matt Hamilton here. For close to 155 years, Leinie's has stayed true to the Jacob Leinekugel's vision for combining German brewing traditions of his homeland with innovative spirit of his new home here in Wisconsin. Today, you'll find that spirit alive and well inside their wide range of German-inspired beers. From shandies to IPAs, Weiss to Box, they've got the beer for any flavor and any moment. You'll find me out on the water this summer drinking some nice summer shandies from Leinekugel's beer. You must be 21 years or older to enjoy.
Are you dreaming of a new look? Let the pros at 5 Star Painting bring color to your world, to your interior, exterior, cabinets, and more. We make it easy with online scheduling, free on-site estimates, and a dedicated project manager on every job. Uneasy about hiring a contractor? We know, we've been there. 5 Star Painting is customer-focused and quality-driven, exceeding expectations every time. Call or visit 5starpainting.com today. 5 Star Painting, a neighborly company.
Hi, this is Dave Kane. You're listening to Madison's Home of the Bucks, a good Karma brand radio station, 100.5 ESPN WTLX, Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Yeah, it is, and I'm Alex Strofe. Your Sports Center update brought to you by Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin's Road America. The WeatherTech International Challenge with Brian Redmond descends on Road America, July 13th through the 16th. Get your tickets today and find the full season schedule on their website, roadamerica.com. That's roadamerica.com. MLB All-Star break and the MLB All-Star game tonight. 7 o'clock on Fox as the National League takes on the American League. Only one Brewer will be in action as Devin Williams, the closer who was selected to the All-Star game, will sit out due to rest. Corbin Burns, though, selected to his third straight All-Star game for the Crew and will likely pitch tonight for the National League. The Brewers just one game back of the Cincinnati Reds at the break for the NL Central lead, and they'll have an opportunity to make up some room as they get back in action Friday, a 3-game weekend set in Cincinnati. More coverage on all things Brew Crew over at ESPNWisconsin.com. NBA Summer League, the Bucks, one of the few undefeated teams remaining out in Las Vegas, 2-0 on the summer. They're back in action tonight at 5 o'clock against the Brooklyn Nets. 5 o'clock tip on ESPNU. Rutledge and Hamilton continues now.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
You got to chill.
Everybody's ego takes a shot on this show.
This is Rutledge and Hamilton with Jim Rutledge and Matt Hamilton, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN.
Well, I like what Matt was saying. Matt was saying some great things, and I always hear the little bit of a bitterness of the Bear fan in you. I really do. But I like the Packers this year. I'm just glad Rodgers is gone. He did great things.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio. With Matt Hamilton, here's Jim Rutledge.
I always hear the little bit of a bitterness of the Bear fan in you.
Rutledge and Hamilton continues live from Risco Steakhouse in Middleton.
I always hear the little bit of a bitterness of the Bear fan in you.
I am Jim Rutledge. Matt Hamilton having a seat here. You're in the kitchen because you got the shirt on now.
No one's questioning me when I walk around now because I have a shirt that says Ruth's Chris Steakhouse and says Matt Hamilton, ESPN chef.
Yes.
People just assume I work here, so I was checking out the wine cellar.
Yeah.
Pretty nice little selection in the wine cellar.
So you said it earlier, and again, this is Rutledge and Hamilton presented by Coors Light. Get into the show, 844-770-3776. Also, you can Alex Strofe is back at the Everlight Solar Studio, but Matt, the bar has a very fun and welcoming vibe. The dining room also welcoming. When my wife and I came here, there was 2 dudes, just friends, dressed in basketball shorts and T-shirts, and I thought they were picking up to take home. They're like, "Hey, can we get a seat?" And they're like, "Yeah, actually, we do have openings." And so they went and got a seat, and there was no dress code here. So
it's it's white tablecloth, but don't get it twisted.
You can have
come as you want.
You can have the experience that you want.
Yeah,
if you want to come here with a buddy and have a steak, great. You guys can hang and dress how you want.
Get dressed up with your wife.
Have a special occasion, yeah. You can do that as well.
Too.
Yeah. So again, Madison's best kept secret, the happy hour here. We are blowing the top off of that secret now. Skiles and Bruss going to be on the air at 4 here, and we'll be hanging out, or I'll be hanging out at least for a little bit afterwards as well. We're going to try that Gamblers Old Fashioned as well. So we did talk some Green Bay Packers earlier, and we can continue that conversation of basically, do you think the Packers offense will be better or worse next season? Again, let's hear from Mark Tauscher and why we got into that.
What makes us think that we're going to be that much worse on offense than we were last year? Because Aaron Rodgers has been a great quarterback. He is a 4-time MVP. I don't have to go through all the accolades of what he's done. He wasn't that last year. And again, a lot of reasons for it. I think the broken thumb was a monster reason for why he wasn't as effective. But we act like this offense, which was not very good last year, statistically, that it's going to be markedly worse.
And I will say this. We act like we didn't go into last year talking about that Alan Lazard was going to make a jump and Rob Tonyan was good, and we were trying to trash talk other teams. And those players are gone.
I was here to make the argument that Alan Lazard was going to be a perfectly capable number one wide receiver on a football team. And he was fine.
But you're right. But
he wasn't like a massive drop off from Devontae. You know what I mean? He had just about half the yards Devontae had the year prior. I think Devontae was at like 14.
He might have had half the catches. I mean, Devontae definitely had seasons with darn near 120 catches.
So I'm not. Mark posed it as a question, so I don't necessarily know exactly what Mark believes. But my answer to his question is, what makes us believe this is the fact that I don't think our wide receiving core is as good. They might be as talented someday, but right now they are raw, so I don't know. I've got a quarterback that I don't know. He might be good. I'm assuming he's good if we're going to move on from an four-time MVP and the guy who brought us our last Super Bowl. If we're going to move on from that guy, I'm assuming Jordan Love's pretty good. Otherwise, they would have done something about it. You gotta hope he's pretty good,
right? But every team ever has got a quarterback they believed in. They were wrong in believing in him.
True, but not every team moves on from a Hall
They
of
moved
Famer.
on from Aaron Rodgers because it was non.
Because it was done, and I get that. But
had nothing to do
I
with
feel
Jordan
like
Love.
if they believed that Jordan Love was garbage, we would have maybe tried to get someone in the draft outside of Sean.
That's different, but that also requires. But it also requires the GM to not be a human being and just assume that. There's a logical fallacy that what I did was right.
I'm not going to go out. I'm not saying Jordan.
I'm just saying
Love
that's
is
just
bad,
as likely.
and I'm not going to go out and say it. I'm saying.
But you can't come out and say it's good.
In all likelihood, Goody sees enough in him to say he can start for this football team, and that is what we can say with certainty because that's the situation. But the tight end team is not as good, and the wide receiving room is definitely not as good, or green, whatever you want to call it, green, unproven. Young with potential, whatever you want to say, they are not as proven as the guys we had prior. And the quarterback is obviously not the same guy that we had last year. That is what I'm telling you, Tausch. That's why I think they're not going to be as good. I don't know where Mark Tauscher stands. I would love to know exactly what he was thinking because the way he posed this question
it's an old radio
made me think that he thinks the Packers are going to be better. And I want to believe that. As a Packer fan, I think that there is definitely potential for them to be good enough. But if I'm putting my money on it and talking in absolutes, absolutely this team is not as proven as last year's team. So that makes me nervous.
I'll look at it like this. So right now, 58% of people chiming in on an Iron Jock poll question say the Packers offense will be worse next year. I would say that that's a fair amount of percent. I think it's about a 58% chance that the Packers offense will be worse next year than it was this past season. There's a 42% chance it is good, but I think that's honestly pretty fair. Maybe it's 60-40. That 60% chance that, and if I gave you odds, and if you gave me odds, I might change my bet there. But
right.
If I'm just rolling into it and I say, okay, they lost their quarterback, they lost their starting quarterback who was top 10. They lost their starting wide receiver, and they lost their number one tight end, and they replaced it with nothing but unproven players as far as in the positions they need to be in.
Right.
That's concerning. And the quarterback, look, and Goody's other quarterback before Jordan Love was Drew Lock, who was trash. So we don't know what Goody actually sees in quarterbacks.
Oh, that's the wrong system.
But every GM ever, including good GMs, have picked up and had their own beer goggles, their Coors Light goggles on their own quarterback. And they've looked at – so Goody could just have Coors Light goggles on looking at Jordan Love. And because it's happened all the time in the NFL.
Right.
All the time.
But not this time, guys.
Never this time. I want to get to, and I know we're going to throw some stones, but Pat Fitzgerald out at Northwestern. And, The Athletic floated the idea that maybe Paul Christ could be the coach there. If I'm Northwestern, I'm going after Jim Leonhard. And we can talk about that a little bit later in the show. This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. Miss any of the show? Find full show podcasts free on Wisconsin On Demand and wherever you get your podcasts.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
Ruggability. We straight made that word up. How else to describe the otherwise indescribable rugged, capable, incredible versatility and affordability of a Honda SUV? Car and Driver calls Honda the winningest brand in 10 best history. Your kids will call it totally lit. But we like ruggability, and you'll like the Incredifantabulous deals, so see your Wisconsin Heartland Honda dealer today. Honda gets Wisconsin.
If you want a fresh twist on surf and turf, look no further than North and South Seafood and Smokehouse. Inspired by their time living in the Alaskan Gulf in southern Texas, owners Keith and Aaron brought together unique culinary backgrounds to create a truly authentic American restaurant here in Madison. After expanding to 2 more locations in DeForest and Verona, you can savor smoky, wood-fired barbecue and freshly prepared seafood from around the country. Explore their full menu and dining options at eatnorthandsouth.com. That's eatnorthandsouth.com.
Mike Greenberg is Greeny.
Green Bay has the longest odds to win the NFC North. Now, once upon a time, they demonstrated that you get a quarterback in, learn from a legendary player. They have an offensive coach who I think knows what he's doing. Unless they just missed so badly that it's unimaginable, I think Green Bay has a real shot to be in this thing all the way through the season.
Greeny, weekdays noon to 2 on 100.5 ESPN.
Dream Big Gala, the celebration benefiting Big Brothers Big Sisters of Dane County. Celebrate the power of mentoring at this event on Friday, July 28th at Monona Terrace in Madison. This year's special guest features Dane County Circuit Court Judge and former Big Brother Everett Mitchell. There's also a cocktail reception, silent auction, and music and dancing with DJ Payne 1. Get your tickets at bbbsmadison.org and celebrate mentoring in our community with Big Brothers Big Sisters of Dane County.
Since 2003, Wounded Warrior Project has helped post 9/11 veterans adjust back to civilian life. Through specialized programs, they begin healing their bodies and minds while regaining a sense of camaraderie. Learn more at woundedwarriorproject.org/possible.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Carbon World Health.
Gotta say goodnight if you never wake up.
Stroke's a little grouchy back at the Everlight Solar Studio.
I don't blame him. We're here at Ruth's Chris. We're gonna have a great cocktail coming.
Yeah.
I got a brand new shirt that just tells everybody at ESPN Madison that I am the best cook in the office.
Yep.
And I don't blame him for being jealous of that. I'm sorry you got to sit at the studio, Stroke, but someone's got to board up.
Thanks, Matt. Appreciate you.
844-770-3776 is how you get into the show. You're just trying to line yourself up to win throwing stones. Before we throw some stones, maybe you'll be a winner, maybe you won't, but I do know that you'd be a winner if you went to Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. Nearly $11 million in jackpots in June. That number's going to be larger in July. Get to Ho Chunk Gaming Madison and be a part of a record year over at Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. Go be a winner. That's where winners go, Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. Really no reason to wait. Maybe get some boat money there. You can join Matt Hamilton out on the boat or out on the lake in a boat there when you win some money from Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. Let's throw some stones.
The guys think they have the answers to everything.
I'm the best there is.
People like me. So it's time to put them to the test.
That's some booty, Jim.
You know, that's just like your opinion, man.
This is Throwing Stones, presented by Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
It is time to throw some stones here on Rutledge and Hamilton each and every day. I scour the interwebs to figure out what the heck has happened in the last 24. I've got questions. Jim and Matt have answers. I'll score them throughout, and at the end we'll crown a winner of Tuesday's edition of Throwing Stones. Fellas, let's start with this. Today is Cow Appreciation Day.
Aw.
So
I
Matt,
appreciate Baby Strophy.
I also appreciate
Let's get a
Baby
steak
Strophy.
sandwich here.
Goodness.
Appreciate the hell out of that cow.
Matt, I want to know what you appreciate about cows.
The meat and the milk. I can't, honestly, the dairy. The dairy might be number one. I can, as long as I got pork, I think I could do without steak. I don't think I could do without cheese or milk or anything in the dairy category. So first and foremost, I appreciate cows for the delicious dairy products I get provided.
Look, I don't need to parse it out. All of it. All of the food that comes from a cow is fantastic. Whether it's the dairy or the meat, all of it. It is fantastic. So shout out to cows for providing us a lot of sustenance.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Love a good cheeseburger, I'll tell you what. Shout out to Baby Strophy. Hope she's doing well.
Yeah.
How are you going to feel in the future?
Dairy cow.
Oh, it's a dairy cow?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Baby Strophy will have a nice long life as a dairy cow.
I don't think Baby Strophy's a dairy cow, Matt.
Well, then you're going to feel bad in the future.
It'll be like that Simpsons.
I was trying to tell you that I was going to the farm and you don't have to worry about it.
There was a Simpsons episode where Homer gets a pig, and he raises the pig, and then at some point the pig gets too big, and then he has to eat the pig. But then he ends up eating it. He's like, I forget the pig's name, but it'll be like, oh, Baby Strophy, but you're so delicious, and pours more barbecue sauce on the ribs and everything. So just eat your cheeseburger with a glass of milk.
You'll be fine.
And pour one out for Strophy.
Pour one out for Baby Strophy. Fair enough. Let's move on. J.J. Watt and T.J. Watt will be featured on this year's cover of the Wheaties cereal box. I'm curious, though, guys, how you would feel if you were Derek Watt, still in the NFL. Their other brother also played at Wisconsin.
Same mother.
From Pewaukee. Same mother, same father. You're right about that, Jim.
Well, it's his brother from another mother.
Jimmy, how would you feel if you were Derek Watt, the one brother not featured on the Wheaties box this year?
I mean, if I was younger, I might be upset, but like Derek Watts has got to be like, look, man, I ain't it. Like, like there's JJ and there's TJ, and then there's Derek. They should have named me DJ.
Chose the wrong position.
They should have named me DJ.
He chose the wrong position.
Yeah, that too. I think that position shows him. Derek Watts should be, and I mean this in a very nice way, he's found a nice little niche to be in the NFL for a little bit. I'm sure he's a very happy fella. And my other question is, when was the last time you've eaten Wheaties?
I don't know.
I don't know that I've ever had Wheaties.
Growing up, like Wheaties was like all I was allowed to eat, and it clearly didn't make any difference in my athletic future. But I would say that it's been a long time since I had Wheaties, but I remember it was fine.
Yeah, you know what? If I was Derek Watt, I would definitely be drilling Cheerios for breakfast. I would not be a Wheaties fan. There would be some spite. I would have to add sugar to my Cheerios because they would be a little salty about the fact that my brothers are on the cover of the Wheaties box.
So you try to get like off-brand Wheaties.
Yeah,
like
right?
Great value. Derek Watt, he's the great value of the Watt brothers. He's the off-brand.
Yeah, he might be.
By the way, Derek Watt's full name is Derek John Watt, so he is DJ Watt.
He should have run, but he didn't go with DJ.
Yeah, he should have went with DJ.
That's just on him.
Do either of you know J.J. Watt's real first name?
No.
James. I don't know.
Justin. His middle name is James. You got that right. How about TJ? What's his first name?
Tyler.
Terrence.
Trent. You're both wrong, and you both suck at this game. All right, let's move on.
You mean one of a million options?
I don't know about a million.
I don't know his lineage. I don't know.
Do your research, Jim. Come on. They're all Badgers. So last week, the world was captivated by Phil Stringer, who was a passenger on a flight from Oklahoma City to Charlotte, North Carolina. He waited after an 18-hour delay, got the entire plane to himself. He was the only guy on the plane. Now, I ask you, would you rather be the only person on a commercial, like, normal plane, or would you rather just have a row to yourself? Jim, I'll start with you.
Can I ask you a question, Matt? Did you know this thing happened?
I did not.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
I feel like it's been all over the internet.
Yeah, but the internet now is just like, it's your own personal service. And I don't mean that like just to you, Alex. It's basically the phone. The
I'm on ABC.com, Jim. I don't know what you want from me.
But you said it took the world by storm, and Matt and I are like, what are you talking about? And
it's got 18 million views on TikTok.
We are the world over here, and we didn't know about it. And so that's all I'm getting at. And I guess I would go with empty plane. Just for the uniqueness of it.
I'm with Jim. I actually had a flight one time when I was in junior curling from Minneapolis to Ottawa, and the flight was pretty much completely empty. It was my team, maybe 2 other passengers, and the flight crew. So it is definitely eerie being on a plane solo and by yourself. You feel like there's a reason that there's not a lot of people there. But it's definitely a lot more comfortable, and you feel better about not being in a tin can with 150 other people.
There you go.
That's fair. I would feel odd about that personally.
It does feel odd, but
one of the things
it gives you private jet vibes, and that is pretty cool.
Because one of the things that, like, well, I'm a nervous flyer. I don't know. I honestly saw this, like, 75% of people are not, like, thrilled with flying. Like, there's some sort of, but, like, part of it is, like, I'm just in this, like, tin can crammed in with a bunch of other people, like a tuna fish in the sky. So, like, that's part of it too, where at least you have some space. So the row would be nice, but otherwise, like, part of it is the crampedness as well of a flight that's not so appealing. So that's why I think FD would be kind of cool.
You make some strange analogies.
Thank you.
Packed in like a tuna fish.
Yeah,
you never heard that before?
A can of tuna fish.
Or a can of sardines packed in.
I've heard that. I've heard sardines. There are tuna fish.
Tuna fish can also be packed in. Have you opened up a can of tuna fish?
I have.
They're shredded and packed in.
Cut my finger on a can of tuna fish once.
But there's tuna are big.
The fish is big, but
the fish itself, it's just okay. So there's really only one tuna in that can.
Yeah, but it's still packed in there pretty tight.
Yeah, fair.
Today's date 7-Eleven. Happy
tuna in my seat.
Happy birthday
tuna
to my mother. But also National 7-Eleven Day. So I ask you, slushies overrated, underrated, or properly rated, Matthew?
Well, first of all, slushy is only properly rated if you're having it occasionally. A lot of too much slushy is definitely overrated. I will throw this out here too. We are getting swindled in the United States with our 7-Elevens. Japan has the best 7-Eleven scene in the world. Like, the food is legit.
Okay.
It is like the 7-Elevens in Asia are awesome. Like Korea as well. We are getting swindled here in the U.S. We do not get the food quality that they get in Asia at the 7-Elevens. They are not bad at all.
I don't have a lot to add on to that. I've definitely had a 7-Eleven. I'll just take your word for the Japan 7-Elevens, but I had the slushy 7-Eleven very sporadically. There was one when I lived in Deerfield Beach. On the beach, there was a right
classic
there,
icy.
Yeah. You're right. Moderation. Even living near one, I probably had one at the most like once a quarter. And now I can't remember the last time I had a slushy, but it sounds nice. Everyone else has like copied it, so I'm sure I've had some version.
This winter
of
I
their
was in
slushy.
Arizona and I walked into a gas station that had slushies. I was like, you know what? Today's the day.
There you go.
So every once in a while, slushy, definitely underrated. But if you have it too often, like anything else, it becomes overrated.
Unless it comes from a cow, then you can have as much as you want.
Last one for you fellas. 1 year ago tomorrow, California Jim was born. Coffee and contemplation.
Right, I was out at the All-Star game last year.
And the MLB All-Star game tonight on Fox, 7 o'clock. Let me ask you this. How many All-Stars can you name? Honestly.
I know.
You guys can team up on this. Because I
Vladdy
feel like
Guerrero won the home run derby last night, so obviously.
All right, Devin Williams is an All-Star.
Yes, but he's not playing.
Corbin Burns got named to the All-Star team.
He did, as a sub.
Dansby Swanson is an All-Star, but he is not playing. Justin Steele, I think, is an All-Star.
I don't even know who that is.
Those are two players for the Cubs.
There you go.
Eloy Jimenez, is he an All-Star?
I'm assuming Soto from last year. I could probably
Aaron Judge should be an All-Star, but I know he's hurt.
He's hurt, but he would have been. Ohtani, of course.
The kid from Seattle who hit all those home runs.
Julio Rodriguez, yes.
Yeah.
Very
Trout.
handsome guy, by the way. You guys see him in the home run derby last night? That guy is beautiful.
I saw him in person last year, handsome fella.
He is a very handsome dude.
Yeah. So, I mean,
Trout,
a fair bit.
I believe Trout's an All-Star, yes.
He's like one of those guys that gets in on
But I mean, like, he could have been hurt. Like, you know what I mean? I know these names.
No, but even if he was hurt, they would bring him in. It's Mike Trout. He was
Will you watch any of the All-Star game tonight?
No.
All right.
I'm going to be honest, I didn't love watching it in person. So
It kind of like the All-Star game, it still gives me like the same vibes as like the All-Star game for basketball or even like football. It's like it's all offense. No defense is being played. It just
but at least in
seems like
basketball, they do some cool dunks.
Yeah, baseball, I guess, is a little different because the pitchers are going hard. But there's so many good batters. It doesn't seem like a normal baseball game.
Well, again, it's the only reason.
And I'm not super big baseball guy.
The only reason it feels like a normal baseball game because who cares? I mean, it's like 162 of those regular season games and one of these random All-Star games. Who cares?
Here's the thing. The best part about the All-Star games is the fact that they put these teams together in the video game, and you can play with the All-Star team in the video game, and that's the best part.
I have not played baseball.
Is that really the best part? Is the fact that it's in a video game? You really believe that?
Well, no. It's just like when you have a team that's already has all the all-stars assembled and you go up to bat and everybody's got like 90-plus batting stats. It's like it's fun.
By the way, Matt, I don't know that the All-Star game is all offense. Score was 3-2 last year. It's typically under 5 runs each.
Yeah, he was just trying to.
He was just trying to talk baseball, which is a bad idea.
He was just trying to thread something that you couldn't thread. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, although he called me crabby before the segment, I would stop before you say what you're about to say. Yeah. Recommend you just sip your coffee and shut up.
I'm going to sip on Matt Hamilton's tears.
Yeah.
Jim Rutledge, your winner today.
Tasty. Tastes like milk.
Yeah, good. Sounds delicious.
You got milky tears, Matt Hamilton.
Yeah.
This is Rutledge and Hamilton. We got Molly's game, our new Gold Medal Tuesday, coming up next.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. The mountains are blue, and we can prove it. Follow the show on Twitter at Jim and Matt.
Follow the stream to your wild side this summer with a ranch water hard seltzer from Lone River. Inspired by the classic tequila cocktails of far west Texas, Ranch Water's no-frills taste taps into the spirit of an adventure under the high desert stars. Using 100% agave nectar and natural lime juice, the hard seltzer contains 80 calories and 4% alcohol by volume. And you can now try their new margarita-style Ranch Rita. Learn more about locations and flavors at LoneRiverBevCo.com.
Listen to Rutledge and Hamilton every Thursday at 2:45 for your chance to win a case of the new Ranch Rita Variety Pack from Lone River. Known for the tequila-based ranch water hard seltzer, Lone River's new Ranch Rita tips its hat to another beloved American drink, the margarita. The Ranch Rita is still crafted with the same organic agave nectar and lime juice for that delicious Texas taste. Listen every Thursday at 2:45 for your chance to win.
Ben Brust here to tell you about why your next work van should be from Mercedes-Benz Sprinter at Zimbrick European. First off, we have versatility. The Sprinter vans offer 16 body types and thousands of ways to customize that space. Number 2, we have reliability. Sprinter's most powerful diesel engines last longer and require less maintenance, spend more time on the road and less time in those bays. Number 3, we have safety. Sprinter's safety technologies include curtain airbags all around, load adaptive electronic stability program, and crosswind and attention assist. Number 4, Van Care Mobile. Our maintenance team can come to you with routine service. Who wants to go in? Let them come to you. They work with multiple trucks on one visit. Use the Mercedes Me Connect. And last but not least, get your Zimbrick Sprinter at Zimbrick European at Rimrock Road and the Beltline, or go online at ZimbrickEuropean.com because they never charge over the MSRP.
Ugh, your lunch is still in here from the last day of school? Ugh, everything is rotted.
Let's make our windows.
Ugh, did you learn that from Mom?
Yeah.
Well, you make a great point. Tell you what, let's clean out your backpack and then we'll...
from Pella.
Precisely.
Well, we can't stop the discovery of those rotting surprises you often find at the bottom of your kid's school backpack. Pella's limited lifetime warranty on wood windows and doors makes it so that you'll never have to worry about rotting windows again. Right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, make payments as low as $35 per window and $78 per patio door. Experience Pella's nearly endless possibilities for maximum design flexibility, featuring dramatic sizes, custom colors, finishes, and more. With Pella's limited lifetime warranty and payments as low as $35 per month per window, $78 per door, there's no reason to wait. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison, home of the Big Win and Madison Casino Guru, is transforming guests into winners. Making an ordinary day into a big win day is easy with a 95% average payout. And with over 140 daily jackpots, the number of people winning has never been bigger. So what are you waiting for? Escape to Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison for your next big win.
Good cocktail.
What is dedication?
People ask, how your children learn how to ride a bike, and you didn't. I just created an environment where they taught themselves, and all I had to do was be there.
That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison.
The lady makes some meatball hazel.
Probably sad, going over tonight. Told me, don't know the feelings. Can we focus on mine? And I think
My brother has no.
I hope that's enough.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to share what this is. Yeah, no, they already had.
She wanna talk late. She wonder if we went the wrong or the long way. I said I bring her out to ever for desserts, but she out here asking all the questions about the entrees. Girl, you not Beyonce, baby, let that paycheck hit. Cause I just wanna be the man that you play that with. I wanna know your home friends and then make that.
Greg Scalzo has arrived, and his hair is surprising everyone. Should we have a, what do you want to call it, a hair off between Matt Hamilton and Greg Scalzo?
Greg wins.
He does. We are also winners. This is Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. Molly Brown back at the Everlight Solar Studio. Hi, Molly.
Hi. I'm kind of jealous that you're at Ruth's Chris, though.
You should be. And I'm not going to lie, you definitely should be jealous. And Matt, we had the Gambler's Old Fashioned, which is an homage to the founder of Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. And tell us a little bit what's in it.
Yeah, so I got to talk about it. They make it properly. That was what I was curious about the process, because there is a proper process to it. Pretty
Take the
simple.
photo for the gram.
It's a very simple cocktail. 2 ounces of bourbon. You have 3 dashes of bitters and 1 spoonful, about a teaspoon, of Demerara syrup, which is like a simple syrup. It's rich. So what you do is you add all of this to a glass and then stir it with ice until it's diluted to the proper level. So like, obviously, the idea is 45% bourbon is a little bit too hot. You put a little ice in it, a little bit of the simple syrup or the Demerara in this case, and the bitters. Give it a stir, it kind of waters it down on the ice, and then what comes out is a perfectly good cocktail like this. It's ready to drink. It's down to the hotness how you want it. It's a fantastic cocktail. And I tell you what, the energy, even here, right as it's opening, the vibe here in this bar is not what I assume. This is like your bar down the street that just happens to serve some of the nicest steaks in town.
Molly, I'm going to give you some advice. You need to pretend that you're mad at your husband, and so he'll take you here. Or just tell him, if you haven't gotten a push gift yet, you should have him bring you here for your push gift.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, you'd be like, look, I birthed a whole child. I birthed a son for you. You can take me to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middletown.
What's the best kind of steak to get there?
So, yeah, that's what my wife and I did. Yeah, 40 ounces, you're going to have leftover, yeah.
So the idea is this big cut of meat, but a porterhouse is 2 different cuts.
Yeah.
It's separated by a T-bone. The one side of the T-bone is like a New York strip, and the other side is like a tenderloin or a filet mignon. So you kind of get 2 steaks in one when you get a porterhouse or a T-bone.
Whew.
Yeah, so it's a nice little date dinner because you guys get a little bit of the best of both.
Love it. I do need to go there.
Absolutely. We do need to play Molly's game, America's favorite game from America's Favorite Molly.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm looking for Molly. I've been searching everywhere and I can't seem to find Molly.
This is Molly's Game with America's favorite producer, Molly Brown, on Rutledge and Hamilton.
Guys, it feels like it's been forever since we picked these because we picked them before Matt went on another maternity leave. Which was what, Wednesday, I think?
No, it was Thursday. I was only out on Friday.
It's been 2 days, Molly.
It's been longer than that,
I don't often defend Matt, but it was Thursday.
Very rarely.
Well, so I had you guys pick some spring league, summer league basketball, as well as the Brewers. So the first question I asked you guys was how many wins will the Brewers win in... Oh my gosh, I can't talk right now. I'm thinking about that steak.
There you go.
Yes, how many games will the Brewers win against the Cincinnati Reds this past weekend? They won 2. Strofe was correct. And mind you, Strofe did pick first in all of these, just so we don't forget. So Strofe got that one. Then I asked you about the Bucks Summer League when they tipped off against the Denver Nuggets, and I asked you how many points will their 2 draft picks have. Andre Jackson Jr. had 9. Livingston had 7 for a total of 16. Matt was the closest with 23.
Yeah.
Then
Was he? What did I have?
you had 26. Jim had 25.
Shoot.
Rough. Then I asked you about the number 1 overall pick, Victor Wembanyama,
Oh, yeah, I got bad on this one.
making his debut against the Charlotte Hornets. You guys were all not great. I asked you how many points would he have in that game against the Hornets. Strofe said 34. Jim said 19. Matt said 24. Do any of you know how many points he actually had?
He had 9. He had 27 in his second game. I was much closer to the second game.
Yeah, second game.
Well, so that means that Jim was closest in that one. So we're at a 3-way tie. So I had to come up with something this morning when I was putting this together of what I want you guys to all guess on now. So, Strofe, you just said the total points, but hopefully they weren't listening. So, I want you to tell me how many points and rebounds did Victor Wembanyama have in both of the Summer League games that he played? Strofe, you first.
Points
Don't
and
Google.
rebounds combined?
Yes, give me the total number. And whoever is closest will win.
I'm trying to do math in my head, and I'm doing a really bad job. Carry the one. 53 is my answer, Molly.
Okay.
All right, I will answer 45.
So I'm not even trying to. I don't know. Price is right. Stroke. 52 is the number I had for me, so I'm sticking it.
Ooh, you know what? You should have gone the other way. You should have gone over because the number was 56.
Woo!
He had 36 points and 20 rebounds in those 2 games, and he is done in the Summer League. So,
I'm still undefeated, is what you're telling me.
yeah.
Guy-
Strofe is 3-0.
Guy knows ball. I've got 3, pal.
Yeah.
Sure. If we call baseball and Summer League ball, Strofe knows it.
And don't forget glizzy eating. Glizzy guzzling.
He knows wieners. Alex Strofe knows his wieners. That's where he's been able to jump ahead. Is his wiener knowledge
more satisfying than watching a bush? So, Strofe,
Matt Hamilton, Bush expert, Alex Strofe, wiener expert.
Yeah, and Strofe, for your weird love, I want to congratulate you and celebrate your win with a delicious Weinekugel's beer. Strofe, I would recommend that you have the lemon honey, or honey lemon light. It is one of my favorite summertime beers right now. It's delicious. It's a light beer, so the calories are something you don't have to worry about, but it's got a little bit of flavor. Kind of a little bit of lemony, a little bit of sweetness. It is a fantastic summer beer. It's great on the boat. It's great by a campfire. It's even good if you fluked your way into a Molly's game win, and you can get that beer wherever you get delicious beer.
So,
and you got to be 21 years old.
Which luckily I am. But I do have a question for you guys on that. So tonight is the first time I will be watching and having a sleepover with my 3-year-old niece.
Okay. That's called babysitting, not a sleepover.
I like it.
She's my niece. She's my niece.
No, Taylor's babysitting. He's having a sleepover.
Well, listen to what I've got going on tonight. So as you guys know, Tuesday nights I play volleyball. Right? And
I definitely had that marked in my personal.
I knew that.
Of course you did. You guys knew that. Matt plays on Thursdays. I know this. He's Golf League on Wednesdays. Pay attention, Jim.
Yeah.
We're friends here. Now, on Tuesdays, we play volleyball. But I will be sitting this game out, obviously, because I will be watching a toddler. But I will be bringing her to said where we play volleyball because it's outside. It's a patio, right? It's still family friendly. And Taylor, my girlfriend, will be playing. Now, is that inappropriate?
No.
My question is, are you bringing her to support Taylor, or are you bringing her because you are terrified to be alone with a toddler?
Ooh,
or both.
Or both. Or are you being sexist and you're like, I need to have Taylor nearby?
No, honestly, I think
It's
I
not
would do the same
sexism.
thing.
It's just I understand my capabilities.
Yeah, dude.
But why is
this is some big
I'll give you
brain. This is some big brain.
Your significant other is definitely probably more skilled.
A million percent, Jim.
Not just because
How old's
of her
the
profession.
young one? You said 3?
She'll be 3 in a month, so she's just
Yeah,
short of 3.
so I mean, I think you'll be able to handle it, and then they're gonna have fun. Sometimes I've seen toddlers there before at the volleyball games before. Sometimes they like play in the sand in the corner. You'll be fine.
Perfect.
Honestly, you just got to play defense so they don't hurt themselves. That's all you're doing.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And I will be enjoying some
Get some
line
French fries.
interviews.
Get some French fries.
I am a little upset that I wasn't asked to sub for you, but
We have so many guys on our team, so that's how we came to this determination. Because she would have, my girlfriend would have gladly, watched her while I played.
Right.
but you need 3 women on the court at all times, and we only have 3 on our team. So.
Wait, okay, so that was part of my question. You said that you were going to be enjoying some wine and Kugels.
I did.
Are you
singular?
Yeah, how many?
That's fair.
Okay, I didn't know if you were going to consume, take part.
So to that point, I have had to put in with people I know of hey, can you just not drink or have a drink?
Yeah.
So when they're watching our kids when they were younger specifically.
I know her parents. I think I'm all right.
Yeah. Plus, I think correct me if I'm wrong. I think you're the godfather.
Not baptized, so technically I would be though. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So you know what? You love this kid as much as basically you would love your own kid. I'm not worried about you. Just be smart. You're smart. You're smart. Just be what you are.
Matt, you have gained your respect back that you have lost the last few days. Well done.
What are you going to feed her for dinner?
Don't ask me.
Hey,
dude,
chicken tenders, French fries. Every kid likes that. Yeah. They'll eat the French fries.
And
forever.
that's what I eat anyway. So it's going to work out just fine.
Honestly,
split a meal. Mommy Porterhouse, you can split some chicken tenders. Maybe they'll come out dinosaur shapes for you too.
Yeah, there you
Dude, those are honestly better, and you're lying if you don't think they do.
Dino bites.
Dino nuggies are better than normal nuggies.
Who knows, man? We're adults here. How many times you firing off Dino nuggets?
Often.
It's on his regular grocery list.
Advertised because they're chicken nuggets shaped like dinosaurs.
It's the same
food,
man.
Dino nugget.
Dino nuggies are better.
So, Molly, before we can make this Molly's Game questioner, I just want to get your thoughts on it. I teased it early in the show, and Alex got all his feelings and said we weren't going to get to it. But we are getting to it now, and a part of it was I wanted to get your thoughts on it. Northwestern moved on from Pat Fitzgerald properly. What would you see more likely to happen, Paul Chryst or Jim Leonard as their new head football coach? Out of those two, it might not be one of those guys, but I think both would be a home run hire for Northwestern.
Ooh, I see Jim Leonard because I think that Paul Chryst is going to be in the situation that he is for a while and then get back to being a head coach.
And
where this might be a really
offensive assistant with Texas.
Where this might be a really good opportunity for Jim Leonard to be a head coach in this program that's obviously, I don't know, there's not a whole lot to live up to, right, at this point? I don't know.
Low expectations.
Yeah, for sure. And then it's like he's also competing against Wisconsin, and think how close he is to Madison by still being in the Chicago area.
Yeah, and that's what I want to get to on the other side. Matt, we'll get your thoughts on it. Molly, thanks for sharing that. You can hang if you want to. This is Rutledge and Hamilton presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton, presented by Coors Light. Miss any of the show? Find full show podcasts free on Wisconsin On Demand and wherever you get your podcasts. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Alex Strofe.
Varsity on Wisconsin On Demand is home to all the latest and best Badgers content on ESPN Wisconsin. Subscribe on Apple, Spotify, Wisconsin On Demand, and wherever you get your podcasts. The Wisconsin football team has extended an offer to one of the top local prospects in the class of 2025. Verona's Trey Poteet, who plays wide receiver and defensive back for the Wildcats, received an offer Monday from the Badgers and head coach Luke Fickell. Poteet is expected to play at the next level as a quarterback and is listed as a 3-star prospect by 24/7 Sports and the number 4 overall prospect in the state of Wisconsin. Trey is the son of former Wisconsin quarterbacks coach Hank Poteet, who spent 2 seasons with the Badgers.
Pella's window and door design options are virtually limitless. Customize your order by August 31st and you could bundle and save big at PellaWI.com.
Jim Rutledge here to tell you about X Golf Madison, and the most important thing that you need to know is that X Golf Madison is for everyone. I golf there. Whether you're a seasoned pro, a new golfer, or in between like me, X Golf Madison is going to be fun for you. They have a full bar, excellent service, great food, and the most advanced and accurate golf simulators in the world. You can play one of their 50 courses available, take lessons from a PGA pro, hit the driving range, or even join a league. Stop by their East Madison or Middleton location today, or visit them online at xgolfwisconsin.com. I am the fittest, healthiest, and lightest I've been in years, thanks to the team at Carbon World Health. Jim Rutledge here, and I've been working with Dr. Nestor Rodriguez and his training staff for years now, and I've seen my fitness and strength increase steadily. Now I'm seeing weight loss like I've never expected, thanks to semaglutide. We're dropping fat, not muscle, with this game-changing, FDA-approved weight loss treatment. Go to carbonworldhealth.com today to learn more.
Wisconsin is as hard-working of a place as you'll ever find. There's a sense of pride, community, and work ethic that's second to none. People here are tough, but even the toughest among us need help after a serious accident. At Gruber Law Offices, we won't stop fighting for you and your family. We've been here and will continue to be here for as long as you need us. Gruber Law Offices, proud partner of the Milwaukee Brewers.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack. Like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/FREE. ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
If you're looking to fill the vacant space in your commercial building, the local agents at RE/MAX and the Preferred Commercial Group are eager to grow your bottom line. Head to commercialwisconsin.com/ESPN and find an investment partner to lead the way to your property dreams today.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
You're listening to Rutledge and Hamilton on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by X Golf in Madison and Middleton.
I was just saying, like, Reds, people that
should I not keep running? I stay down in this hole.
So I had retweeted our Iron Jock poll question, which right now we asked the question, do you believe the Packers offense will be better or worse than in 2022? 58% of you say worse, which I think is the odds that the offense will be worse than last year, 58%. We have Spoosh chiming in. QB play was terrible. Offense led the league in failed hero ball bombs.
What's that?
If we run the ball and play move the sticks offense like 1989, that's my own little addendum, we should be good, and the defense should be better. Hashtag should.
I believe the stat he's referring to is, what do you call it, failed hero ball bombs? That's third and fourth down passes over 20 yards downfield.
Okay. But I would think it's hard to
hold those because he can throw that ball.
But also, I would like to point out, you lose immediate credibility when you say QB play was terrible. Last year. In no world was QB play terrible.
Right? Top 15 at least.
Probably top. It wasn't very good, though.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't vintage Aaron Rodgers.
He still was a top 10.
Yeah, like I said, it was still top 15, top 10 quarterback play in the league last year. Like, if Jordan Love comes out here and gives us top 10 quarterback play in the
if Jordan Love's the 20th best QB in the league next year, you should be happy.
I mean,
as a first-year starter?
No, that would be amazing. So the idea that doing what Aaron Rodgers did, which wasn't good for Aaron Rodgers, but was still good enough to be like 10th or 11th best in the NFL.
So, Ron of the Key chimes in, our Hall of Fame QB, 2 years removed from MVP QB. The rest isn't even needed, talking about removing those other aspects that I talked about, losing your starting tight end, losing your starting wide receiver. Packers are going to be bad. Even their 2 13-3 seasons were more about who they played than actually being a good team, which could prove itself out in the playoffs, especially not the year that they lost to Tampa at home in the COVID season, but the year afterwards, I mean, you can make a case that maybe they were a little bit inflated with their actual numbers and wins. But, guys, I wanted to get to if you were Northwestern. Or actually, I'll ask you like this. If you were Jim Leonard, what do you have, Matt?
Well, I mean, nothing. If I was Jim Leonard, what?
No, you waved
No,
your hand.
no. I got nothing, Jim.
No, you have something. We'll stop. Give it to me.
I'd also like to know what happened there.
I was literally typing Badgers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you nailed it. That's why I was like, just keep rolling, bud. You nailed it.
Hey, did your computer die? No, it's back now. Never mind.
No, he wanted to know what he teased in the break, my thought.
Yes.
And it was different.
So you were trying to be a good teammate.
I was like, let's get back to it.
Got you. So did you see it on the stream there, Strofe, where Matt waved his hand in front of me?
Yeah, that's right where it froze up. It froze with his hand up. And I was like, what's going on here?
Yeah, I was trying to get his attention.
This is going to give me a slap across the face.
See, and that's the thing. This kind of synergy that me and Jim have now, that we've been together for a year, I'm just hoping Jordan Love can have that kind of connection with his wide receivers. Because Jim just knew to audible and move on to the Badgers as I was typing. So
yeah, but instead we probably look like how Jordan Love and his receivers will have. Like, no, you go. No, you go. Yeah, no.
And now we've spent 90 seconds trying to transition to said topic.
Yeah,
and said topic
might be your 3 downs and out.
Paul Chris, I want to word it like this. If you were Jim Leonard, would you take the job at Northwestern?
Personally, if I'm Jim Leonard, it's a good opportunity. And I will say that this is a very different question than we had posed for Molly, because the likelihood between Chris and Leonard, I say it's Chris, because it seems like Paul Chris really wants to be a part of football. So right now he's an assistant at Texas. He moved on when the Badgers moved on from him the first time after their coaching situation with Bielema, that they moved on to Gary Anderson. He went out to Pitt and
he went to Pitt.
Or he went to Pitt. So he moved along, and the guy wants to be a head coach. Leonard seems like the kind of guy who will wait for his dream job because he knows what he is capable of. Rumor right now is that he's helping out with a football team in the Big Ten.
Okay. Yep.
But that doesn't mean like if he was wanted to be a part of football, it wouldn't be a rumor. It wouldn't be this hush hush kind of news. It would be a popular story. So I think Chris not only is more fit to be the coach of Northwestern, is a guy who's actively seeking head coaching roles.
I'll say this, like Paul to Northwestern screams more of like they don't have a lot of great options and Paul doesn't have a lot of great options. It still could work. For Leonard, here's the case why if I'm Jim Leonard, I'd take the job. One, Northwestern has at times under Pat Fitzgerald been a competitive program that goes to bowl games either every year, every other year. It is hard to maintain a consistent winning program at Northwestern, but not being Wisconsin is not a crime. And so Northwestern, I would put them in front of Iowa, honestly. I'd rather be at Northwestern in Illinois than Nebraska. So if you're Jim Leonard and you believe in your ability to coach, Ryan family, which is Ryan Field down in Northwestern, I believe has like a $700 or $800 million donation made towards new facilities down there. Their athlete facility is right on the lake. It is amazing. So they're investing money into that program. Right. But so if you're Jim Leonard, here's the thing.
If he invests in
yes, I understand what you're trying to do there. So the thing with Northwestern is that Jim Leonard wants to be close to home. And home is in the Madison area or in Middleton, which is where Canopy Wealth Management is. You could go to Canopy Wealth Management, go to canopywealth.com today to see how they can come up with a customized plan for your future and come up with a retirement plan that meets your goals and helps you reach your goals at canopy-wealth.com. This has been Rutledge and Hamilton. Scalzo and Bruss coming up next live from Moose Chris Steakhouse in Middleton.
See ya.
The Club at Rock La Belle is the birthplace of golf.